Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, Little Jungle. My name is Nikki and thanks for checking in. Today I want to talk about this beautiful plant which called Neanthe Bella Palm. Or it's just known as a palm tree, which doesn't really resemble as a tree, but they call it palm. So anyway, I used to have a lot of problem growing these because the leaves would go yellow and brown and pretty fragile and dry. So after trying so many different things and having them so many times, killing a bunch, I finally have this guy for a while. I would say maybe for 5 months now, and as you can see, it's doing really good. So I thought I share how this plant now doing really good, and what was I doing that was wrong. So I used to have this plant very close to the window that the sunlight would be right on the leaves, and the dirt would go dry really fast as well. So this palm really love moisture and humidity. So one of the key things to success with this plant is humidity. Obviously, it's really hard to have a humidifier all the time at home because you constantly have to fill it up and turn it on, and a lot of times we're just busy, we forget. So one of the ways, actually I can tell you a couple of ways that you can have this plant without the humidifier. So one way that you can provide that humidity is to put it with a bunch of plant together. Like for example, I'm putting this guy with this plant and bunch of other ferns, all of their pods so close to each other as if they're very densely planted together, but they're not. They have their own individual pods, but they're just really stuck to each other. So I create this really humid environment for them, so they kind of breathe into each other, and they kind of use each other. So if you have ferns, plants that generally like humidity, it would be a great idea if you just put them really close to each other and they cover each other up, because then they can provide each other humidity. Or if you don't have that many plants, you can always have a bigger decorative pot, and what you can do is fill that decorative pot with clay balls or with pebbles, and fill it up with some water. But the water should not come inside the pot. Like, we do not want the root of the plant sit in the water. That way you're definitely going to kill your plant. Don't do that. What you want to do is, imagine you have the pebbles, right? You have like about 4 inches of pebbles in the bottom of your decorative pot, and then you just fill it up with 2 inches of water. So the water is stay halfway between the pebbles and your pot. That way the water in the bottom of the pot slowly evaporate and create this humidity for your plant. But I would suggest to impact this guy with other plants. It creates a better humidity for it. Next key point for success is, do not place this guy in direct sun, and I cannot tell you how important that is. We want this plant in shade, okay? The window that I'm putting this plant is east side, which is not that bright. It's just a very soft light, okay? Very soft light. And so it's kind of shady, but at the same time bright. I hope you can understand what I mean. I know it's a little hard. But all I'm saying is don't put it in very immense lighting area. Like for example, if your window is south facing and you get so much light, you better filter that light or put the plant somewhere that it's really hiding in a shade somewhere. That way he's gonna, or she is gonna really like it better. About watering is, so I water this guy once a week. The air in my house is pretty dry, so generally my plant, they go pretty dry within a week. But if your house is in a place that is not super dry and your pot generally keep moisture in longer, be careful, don't overwater it, okay? Because they like moisture, but they don't like soggy. They will definitely again choke and die. But they also don't like a drought, being dry for a long time. That also will starve this plant and will dry out. About they also like fertilizing in wintertime, like non-growing season. Usually you don't fertilize that much, maybe once a month. But when it comes to spring and summer, you want to do that every other week, I would say. Usually that's what I do. And he really loved it. And as you can tell or see, there's lots of new shoots coming out too. So that like tells me this guy's pretty happy. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. They're pretty easy plants. I'm not going to repot this guy because they generally don't care about so much space. I can probably get away with this pot for another year. Yeah, and I think it has a good dirt, so I'm not gonna touch it. But yeah, that's about it. It's really not much into it. Like, I think the key is humidity. Yeah, 100%. And also being very careful with watering, not overwatering and not letting it go dry. So these two are the most important. And also don't forget about the lighting of the room. Choose a proper lighting. Like if you do have a bathroom, for example, that it has a window, but the window is like kind of like little and there is light but not super bright, or straight sunlight, that's also a good location for this plant because it has humidity and the lighting is good. So yeah, I hope that you like you would give it a shot. If you killed one of these and you're kind of scared to try again, maybe try it one more time and use my advice and see what happens. Because when I bought this guy, I was really like, oh man, I feel like I'm going to kill this guy again. But this time it worked, and it's been 5 months and lots of new growth. So I have really big hopes now that I don't think it's gonna fail. So hopefully, and I hope you have success too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your likes and comments and subs, and I'll see you guys next video.